Welcome to the Authentic Health Coaching Show. My name is Tom Corson-Knowles, founder of Authentic Health Coaching. If you haven't checked us out on our website, please do. Come visit us at AuthenticHealthCoach.com. We have an amazing free report for you there with Dr. Corson's top 5 nutrition tips. It is the #1 guide to taking your health to the next level. Today on the show, we have an amazing guest for you, David Pritchard, who has been a leader in the health and fitness industries for over 20 years now. He's trained professional, college, and amateur athletes worldwide, and he's worked with professional athletes in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, boxing, and in 2008 he even worked with the USA basketball gold medal Olympic team in Beijing. So, he's just an amazing person who has so much experience in health and fitness, and today on the show he really shares with you the fundamentals of good nutrition and good fitness and how they go hand in hand, that you can't have one without the other and still expect to have long-lasting, vibrant health and a healthy lifestyle. And he really talks to you about just the fundamentals of how to take your health to the next level, and it's so important that you master the fundamentals. Health is not something that's complicated, it's something that's very simple, and David really has that skill to get you back focused on what are the simple things that I can do today to take my health to the next level. So enjoy the show and make it an amazing day.
Well, David, thank you so much for being with us today on the Authentic Health Coaching Show. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about, what got you interested in nutrition and fitness in the first place?
Well, Tom, first of all, I've been passionate in loving exercise and wellness my whole life. I've been brought up in a family where we were fortunate to be, in a place where most of our fitness activities were outside, and we were taught to kind of be unique with that. As kids growing up, and I was the youngest of 9, and it's always been a passion of mine to just be healthy, be strong, and feel great. So as I got into school, high school that is, it always was a burning desire to want to learn more and understand, just to help people live better. And I was even writing up programs in high school. And when I got into college, it just clicked. And my background was in kinesiology and sports nutrition. And what happened there in college is where the transformation started for me, not only from what I wanted to spend the rest of my life doing, but more on my own self, where I was kind of using myself as a guinea pig to all the different, vast programs and eating regimens out there to find out kind of where I wanted to stick to. And just so you know, I've been training and helping people for over 20 years now, and the funny thing about that is I've never once changed my philosophy in all that time on eating, and I've never caved into the popular things that are out there. And when I was in college, I just started to realize what it really took first is obviously the lifestyle management. I think what was missing back then with trainers and people that wanted to help people exercise was that nutrition component, was to understand that the main aspect of why people live a better life and see results first and foremost was nutrition. It was what they put in their mouth. And I didn't care if you were the world-class trainer of the year and you worked with high-level Olympic athletes like I do. It didn't matter if they were eating wrong. So it really was a burning desire to understand more and more and more about eating and nutrition. And then obviously how it aligns itself with exercise. And that brought me to working at a hospital here where I'm from now, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And after I graduated from college, it was one of those things where I never was really truly happy there. It was one of those kind of things where you kind of transition to before you went into physical therapy or before you went into maybe medical school. And I was restless. I was there for a couple of years, and I was helping people, kind of walk out the door, basically. I didn't really help them solve the issues of why they got there in the first place. And that was always one of my things that I've always wanted to do more of. So I ended up opening my own practice right out of college, pretty much. And it still stands today after all this time. And what we focus all our attention on really is the lifestyle of the person, the uniqueness of where they come from. And then what we do there is that we formulate our plan. But the one thing that we don't deviate from, whether you have diabetes, heart problems, we work with professional athletes from the Brewers to the Packers to the Bucks. Everybody is the same. They're all human, okay? So what we look at more is what are your needs different versus the other person's needs. But what we don't deviate from is the fact that this is what we believe in from a nutrition formula. We don't believe in the no-carb diet. We don't believe in the all-protein diet. We believe in balance. We believe in trying to eat your food as natural and as whole as possible. We try to focus in on not overeating and trying to eat within your body type. So we really are stuck to that. And that has worked very well for us. We have worked with thousands and thousands of people, not only in the city but across the country that have come to our facility here. And I've had the pleasure to work around the world now and travel. I work with the Olympic athletes. I was in China for the 2008 Olympics, which was fantastic. Worked with tons of high-level athletes there. And it's great because whenever you're in that kind of experience, you're able to test out. Even though you're surely convinced that your program is working and that it's produced tons of results, but whenever you're working with different types of people from all different walks of life, you're able to really test out your model, test out even more techniques that you are wondering. And it's always fascinating to see the results come back the same. You know, whether you're working with somebody who's trying to lose 100 pounds or you're working with somebody who's a weekend warrior trying to, run a marathon in 4 or 5 months. It all comes down to the simple things is they got to eat right, they got to have a sustainable workout regimen that's realistic, they have to do things and get plenty of rest, and hand in hand, everybody experiences the same amount of results. So it allows me to stay passionate about the field that I love so much because it's, even though it's evolving and constantly changing, but I believe the people who stick to their principles and values of what wellness means to them, and it's the right one. I mean, it's not quick fixes. It's not popping pills to lose weight. It's not doing unnecessary surgeries. Those are the ones that are going to stand true to the test of time in this field. So I hope that helps as far as, the kind of my background, as far as where I got involved in. And this leads me to what I'm doing now and an exciting future of what we're doing here with traveling as well now, too.
Yeah, that's awesome. You shared a lot of really, really powerful things. And one of the ones I want to really highlight is that, like you said, there's no shortcuts. You can't, pop a pill or, run one day, once a month for a couple hours and expect your health is going to turn around overnight. It takes years and years for sickness and disease to develop in your body. It takes years for, your muscles to get weak from not exercising, and it's going to take time to build that back up and to build that health and that fitness back up. And, I think that's really the key to lasting sustainable health is that you do it over time. And it's not, you can't do it overnight.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly. I mean, you didn't get that way overnight. It's going to take time for your body to adjust to it, and that's what you want. I mean, you're losing weight too quickly on a cleanse diet or something. You have to realize your body is more sophisticated than you realize, and it's gonna show you some results maybe at the beginning because it's different and it's something out of the ordinary of what you've been doing. But trust me, eventually that is going to catch up to you. And that type of sustainability for health and results is not there unless you are adding in the principal factors to a strong foundation of a program, which we know is the right kind of nutrition, living by the right amount of calories for your body, and, of course, a reasonable exercise program. No, you're exactly right. I mean, it's always funny when people come in and they're 50 pounds or 20 pounds overweight and they want results in 2 months. I'm like, well, how long have you been overweight? And they tell me, well, it's 10 years, 15 years. I'm like, it's going to take time for your body to accept this new lifestyle. And plus, not only the maybe the wellness aspect of this, but let's look at the psychological aspect of this. I mean, it's just that doesn't turn sometimes until the last thing, where you really have made that mind shift to say, this is a lifestyle. This is something that every day I wake up, and this is a part of my life now. That has nothing to do from a physical aspect. That is all in the mind now, where you have now put that into your mindset that this is the way I'm going to live from now on. And it's just like any addict who decides to get off of drugs or get off of alcohol. So I'll tell you, there's that physical aspect of purging those drugs out of your body, which can take anywhere from a month to a year. And then after that, what keeps you off of drugs is the mental sustainability that you can do it. So, yeah, that was a great point.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It kind of reminds me of a story talking about this sustainable health and making that lifestyle choice. You know, when I was in college, I was well into the healthy lifestyle by then, and, you know, very healthy diet and exercise as well. And one day I was making this really big healthy salad, all kinds of veggies and stuff in there. And my roommate came back, and he came back from McDonald's, and so we're both in the kitchen at the same time. I'm making a healthy salad. He's getting out his hamburger and French fries. And he looks at me and he said, "Tom, why are you torturing yourself?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "How come you eat all this healthy food all the time? You know you don't like it." And I was like, you know what? Actually, I do like it. Like, salads actually taste good to me now, because what happens is your tastes change as you make that lifestyle change. And, you know, I can have just as much enjoyment and pleasure out of eating a salad as he can get out of eating a McDonald's hamburger. And I'm also getting all the health benefits that go along with that lifestyle as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing about that is, too, is your roommate doesn't experience mindfulness eating, I mean, which I teach a lot with people who have eating disorders or who have been overweight. Don't look at food like you are looking at food. You're eating that salad and that healthy meal from a sense of you're eating it for energy, you're eating it for strength, well-being, you're tasting all the different ingredients and all the food has, versus your roommate who's really eating to get full, eating to kind of fill a need and a desire that the body says, I'm hungry. But what he doesn't realize is that he's not even paying attention to the food in itself. He's basically shoveling the food in and just getting to the point where, okay, I'm full, now I have 3 or 4 hours into my next meal. Where your food and the way you've designed how to eat, your body and your mind have connected to the two, where your mind is saying, here's what's good to eat. Your body is saying, here's the food that I desire and that I want. And the two work in unisex. It's a beautiful marriage when you get to that point. And you, thankfully, reached it at a very young age, which is great. I mean, and a lot of people don't get that and don't understand what it means to just understand what your body's needs are and to be able to fulfill it and understand it through food. It's a beautiful thing versus, you know, when you're out with people and they're just eating and they don't really sit back and take the time to enjoy their food. Because most of the time, they feel guilty for eating that cheeseburger and fries. They want to get it over with as fast as they can. And they know that what they're eating isn't good for them. So that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and it seems like it's a small shift, but sometimes it seems like such a huge shift to go from that fast food lifestyle to the sustainable, healthy, conscious eating lifestyle. You know, what do you think the biggest challenge is for people to go from point A to point B? What if they're saying right now, well, I know I eat unhealthy and I want to make a change. What are the biggest challenges that they're going to face, and how can they overcome those?
One word. I use this every day. I probably say this word 1,000 times a day in my business. Preparation. Preparation. It's the key to everything, really, if you think about success in business or your success in being healthy. If you are not prepared, you will fail. Now, someone like you or me as well. I mean, I have learned to do this the night before. I look at my day like today. I was starting with clients at 6 in the morning. I knew I had this interview with you. Then I knew I had meetings the rest of the day. I'm off to Mexico on Thursday. I have a big wellness conference tomorrow in Green Bay. I bring my food. I'm making my food last night. I'm chopping up vegetables and bringing fruit with me and snacks. Because if I don't, I'm going to set myself up for failure, period. As good of an eater as I am, you know what happens when you start to skip meals, or you brought the wrong, you didn't bring the right food, and you didn't have it all set up for you, that hunger sits in. And sometimes your mind and your body shift away from each other. So the people who are making that shift, they need to realize in order for them to succeed, they have to be realistic. They have to be prepared. They have to go grocery shopping. They have to put food in the house. That bad food didn't grow legs and just all of a sudden show up in the cupboards. It got there somehow. So realize that you can't have that food in the house. As strong as you might be and committed you are to exercise and living a better life, you can't bring that food in. You have to bring the right kinds of food. You have to get some Tupperware. I have more Tupperware in my house than I have plates, because I'm always bringing food with me, because I'm warming up chicken breast. I'm making hard-boiled eggs. And the feeling and the knowing that I have that food there when I'm working a long day is such a reassuring, strong sense of there's no way I am going off my plan today. There's no way. Because even if it's 10 minutes in between a client, I'm eating a hard-boiled egg, I have snack bars, I have fruit. I am in control. That's the most important thing, is that you don't let your situation control you, your job, your kids, your schedule. Once you fault that, then you have problems. It goes back to, many books that I read. One of a book, a quote that I love from Food Rules, and one of the things he says is, don't get your fuel from the same place your car gets its fuel from. And that's such a great point, because if you think about that, most people do. When they stop and get gas, right away they walk into the convenience store, and 98.9% of things in that convenience store, maybe besides the water and the fruit that's there, and I don't always see fruit, is bad for you. It's all processed. So you're not preparing yourself enough to know, hey, I'm going to be on the road a lot today, dropping kids off at school, running errands, or I have, I'm a traveling salesman. The first thing I tell a lot of my traveling salesmen is invest in a cooler. Just bring a cooler. You throw a cooler in the back of your back seat, you throw it with tons of snacks in the morning, and you won't have to stop at those places when you have that 3 o'clock low blood sugar level rush as you're finishing up your day. So it's all about preparation. It really, truly is. And understanding that, you're not going to outlast your situation. If you try to think, well, I forgot to prepare today, don't worry, I'll be okay. I'll get something at work. Well, most of the things you're going to find around your office are not going to be healthy. So you might look like that guy who walks in with the cooler with all the Tupperware, and they might look at you and laugh at you. But trust me, you're the guy, who's going to have sustainable energy, who's going to feel great all day long, and not have to worry or sacrifice having to go out of the office to the vending machine or to the convenience store. And not to mention, I don't know about you, Tom, I find it a heck of a lot cheaper from an economical perspective to have all that stuff lined up for me versus having to go and spend 2 or 3 times the amount that it would cost me when I prepare those same things and bring them with me and go grocery shopping.
Absolutely. I mean, you can eat very, very healthily, very, very economically, and especially if you're not, instead of going out to like fast food restaurants or, like chain restaurants and things like that.
I had a client who was coming in here and she loved mint water, and she would come in here and she would stop and buy this, very high end, very, trendy water that was flavored with mint. Now I asked her, I said, how much did that cost you? And she said, it was like $2.89, and it was for a 12-ounce bottle of mint water. And I said, oh, really? So the next day she comes in, and I bring her a bushel of mints from my garden that I have, and it's growing like weeds in my backyard. So I said, here, this will last you about a month. And she goes, I said, all you got to do in the morning is fill up your BPA-free plastic container of water, throw 2 to 3 mint leaves, and all day you'll have mint water. And you know what that cost me for that whole entire bushel? Probably about a quarter. Yeah. And it'll last you a month. It's about trying to make that shift. Now, you might not have a garden or you might not grow it, but you can go buy mint at the grocery store or co-ops or farmers market, and find those there, and you'll be surprised. It's the same exact thing that you just got done buying and spending $2.89 on, and the only difference is, it's going to take you 20 seconds now to go through the trouble of putting the mint in the water, but it's worth it.
That's so true. And you talked about consciously eating your food. Well, it's kind of like consciously preparing your food. When you actually pay attention to what you're eating and what you're buying when it comes to your diet, you can realize, I could save $100 a month not buying this mint water and make it myself so cheaply and even healthier. And just taking that consciousness to, like you said, the preparation of your diet and the preparation of your day, the preparation of what you're doing in your lifestyle, I think not only can you save more money, but you can have more energy and feel healthier. So it just all works together.
Yeah, absolutely. And the people who are truly the ones that are the most successful, the ones who really are, this is my lifestyle, this is what it doesn't, consume them. It's not a obsession, They almost get to a point where, I don't know about you, and I've been, living this lifestyle for, 20 years, I'd say, pretty consistently. I don't even think about it anymore. It's not a distraction. It's not a burden. It's just a part of who I am, just like brushing my teeth. It's part of what I do on a daily basis that makes me the person I am now, because it's a core value of what I believe in. And once people understand that, and that it's not just about, I go to the gym to see my trainer 3 times a week, and I'm drinking my protein shake in the morning, but at lunch, I had some carbs, more than I should have, and at the middle of the afternoon, I grabbed a candy bar or a bag of chips, and then at dinner, I was so tired when I got home, I did this. That's not a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. You didn't do anything that, to me, made a sacrifice. Now, that might be someone at the very beginning, that is what it takes, and then slowly they learn. But if you've been doing that for years, to me, you have not even touched or reached your potential. And to me, I train a lot of trainers to be trainers. I'm always scolding trainers, number one, because I always get, this is my biggest pet peeve. And a lot of trainers operate, unfortunately, from ego, because they think the reason why someone loses weight is all of their magical training and their philosophy. But the more you get down to it, if you want your client to succeed and really, really celebrate that level of wellness for the rest of their lives, you have to teach them and educate them about the principles of eating right, period. Because to me, it took a while for me to realize this. I'll be honest with you. Probably for the last 10 years, I've really been practicing it from that side, is what you do with them on an exercise perspective is gravy. It really is. When we look at it, when we look at the science behind why people lose weight, we look at the science behind why people live longer and disease-free, it starts and ends with food and what they put in their mouth. And now, exercise and being more physically active is a component that is as important and does make a difference. But to me, in the training world, what you do for them is gravy. It's just on top of if you can get them that principle and you can get them that nutrition philosophy into their life, everything you do with them will work. I guarantee you. I don't care if you're a trainer who just practices walking with these people. I don't care what your philosophy is. What you send them to will work then. And you've got to wrap that in their mind. So I'm always, whenever I meet trainers, the first question I ask them, well, what part of your training philosophy is nutrition? They're like, well, not that. I'm like, wrong. You're going to be left behind, number one, if you don't get into the nutrition philosophies. Number two is you're not completely touching the entire experience for your client. And so it all has to be balanced, of course, but it's got to start there.
Yeah, that's so true. Someone taught me, actually an ultramarathoner, he runs the equivalent of 6 marathons in 5 days through the Atacama Desert, the fiercest deserts in the world. So, just an amazing athlete. But he talks about, he says, there's a difference between being fit and being healthy. he says, I'm not a fit person. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm an amateur athlete, but I'm very healthy because I take great care of my nutrition. And he'll be on these 150-mile courses through the desert over 5 days, and he'll be outrunning guys who are in their 20s because they get sick halfway through it. They get tired and exhausted. Their muscles are sore because they don't have good nutrition. I mean, these young guys, they're incredibly strong. They've got great muscles, very strong guys, but they don't have the nutrition to protect them and help repair them from the exercise. And it's so important to understand that there's a difference between fitness and health, and that you need both of them. And nutrition is obviously the key to that. Yeah, I mean, that's so true. And especially, I've worked with, dozens and dozens of Olympic athletes, gold medal athletes, and I'll be surprised. I mean, just even I'm a huge tennis fan, and watching Djokovic and Nadal play yesterday, which was an amazing match, and to see the level of what Djokovic has taken his game to, and when you look at this last year, I mean, he's gone 63-2. I mean, he's it's been one of the best seasons in the history of tennis, and one of the best seasons in the history of sport. And you look at such a fit guy like Nadal. Now, some of these things you can only measure by, literally millimeters when you look at it from that perspective. But between those two elite athletes, you got a guy like Djokovic beating Nadal because this last year, what has he done? He's hired a nutritionist. The guy went, now I'm not, gluten-free is certainly, something I do teach as well. He went gluten-free. He's been focusing all of his energy now saying, okay, I've reached the pinnacle of physical tennis where I don't know if I'm going to get any better than this. I practiced. I have a great coach from a elite level. I don't know if my skill is going to get any better. But what I know can get better is my nutrition, because he said it was horrible before that. He said he wasn't eating right. He was eating fast food. And he went and revamped his entire nutrition program, and voila, he has one of the best years in the history of tennis. So there's something to that. Absolutely. And I think, if you look at these Olympic athletes, they've got like 4 or 5 coaches. They've got the nutrition coach, they've got the tennis coach who tells them exactly how to swing, and then they've got like the fitness coach, and they've got all these different coaches that help them get better and better at every area of their health and what their sport is, right? And it's like you look at so many people who they say, I really want to get fit and I want to get healthier, but they don't have a coach. And it's like, the shortest path to success is to follow someone who's already been there and done that. Yeah. And so I think getting a coach is a great way for someone who's stuck to get unstuck and get moving on the right path. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he or she can certainly get you there in ways that understand your lifestyle, can understand the trials and tribulations of a mother of 4 and is working and trying to do it all, and to understand that is the person you do not want to put on a 6-day-a-week program for an hour at the gym. You have to understand that, or it's a businessman who's suffering from type 2 diabetes and is traveling and is on a plane 200 days a year. That's not a person that's going to follow a program that is going to be unrealistic if you don't realize, hey, here's an exercise routine that's going to be 4 days a week for 30 minutes. Here's an eating regimen that's going to be around your lifestyle. You have to teach according to what their needs are, and a coach hopefully will be well-versed at knowing all those different types of angles, whether you're an elite athlete, you're needing maybe it's just a tiny tweak in a program to somebody who needs a major lifestyle overall. Absolutely. And I know you do some really intensive, some really cool kind of coaching programs called wellness vacations. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what those are? Because I think a lot of people don't know what a wellness vacation is. Oh, now this is what I'm talking about. You're able to, talking about just trying to get somebody away from, especially now more than ever, it's the distractions of life, unfortunately. It's the technology. It's the stress of your job. It's the stress of the environment we all live in. We all are experiencing it the moment we walk out that door. What we believe in with Destination Wellness is we believe in the whole, the individual as a whole, in the uniqueness of what they need back home.
and what they need to help themselves. So what we try to do is take them in a place where none of those distractions are there, okay? And it might just be to get them started, to get them to focus on themselves again, to get them to focus on the aspect of who and what they need from their body, their mind, so that we can give them, we can teach them the tools so when they go back home into their chaotic environment, they are ready. They are ready to tackle it through the things that they learn through us. Now, what we do is we put them in a very, very beautiful, amazing place in the Riviera Maya in Mexico. We give them we have a fully customized professional staff, from yoga to beach workouts to mountain biking to running to water conditioning to Pilates. And then we bring them to this and we let them kind of put their mind around everything that we have. And we help them design their vacation. So we understand when we look at vacation planning that people work so hard to go on vacation. They're in the gym, and then when they get on vacation, they completely let go. Now, we certainly believe in rest. We believe that vacation is about rejuvenating yourself and repairing yourself. But we do not believe in the fact that you need to go there and not move and not exercise and completely come back bloated and 3 or 4 pounds heavier. That's not a vacation. A vacation is about feeling good, feeling energy, and still being able to be at the pool and reading your book for 2 or 3 hours or getting a massage on the beach. But we also believe in making time to incorporate some of the things that we can do for you on these resorts through exercise and through amazing food. What we've also done is bring in top chefs from around the world. We have an organic greenhouse on all of these resorts where we get all our vegetables and fruits. It's all self-grown there. So that the people are eating food, that they probably are never going to maybe eat when they go back home. But again, it's the experience that they're giving themselves there to allow themselves to get introduced to a lifestyle that maybe when they go back home, they'll sustain. But more importantly, it's about getting them there, having a trainer, trying all these different types of classes and experiences that we have. So then you are introduced to a way of life that will inspire you, that will motivate you in this beautiful tropical setting so that you are motivated to want to continue it. That's really what it's about. It's really about introducing a way of life that we believe makes us all feel good who are a part of it. And then it's for that other person who comes in and says, hey, I do this at home. I want to continue doing it on vacation. But we have programs for that level of participation as well. So if they want to go at a higher level than somebody who says they're just starting out, we have trainers there that will accommodate whether it's marathon runners, triathletes, high-level participants that are used to working out very intensely. We have programs there that will accommodate them on the beach, boot camp. Trust me, we have amazing trainers that are world-class. We have 2 trainers that are master Pilates trainers that have taught and learned in New York. And they're incredible Pilates masters. I mean, they take us through workouts all the time when we go back there, and they're bringing people in all the time that have done Pilates, and they're doing it on the beach. And it's just so incredible because they're going back home, and they're not getting that experience back home. So it's just a different angle. And then we also want to teach them, okay, we obviously know you're doing this here. It's easy to do it here because it's all done for you. The food is here. We also want to teach you. We want to educate this lifestyle to you as well so that it's just not, okay, you're done, goodbye, see you again. We want this to continue with you so we have this relationship. You know, even though you're not at the resort, we still feel connected to you even though you're back home, wherever that is. So it's just been a blessing to be a part of doing what I love here in the Midwest, of all places, and being able to take it there to Mexico, to these to these 5-star resorts and be able to see what it can do there for people coming on vacation, it's just been such a win-win situation. And it's allowed me to, through my travels around the world, kind of see all the different cultures of what exercise means to people in China, what exercise means to people in Germany, in Europe, in Spain, and taking all those components and then taking it back to Mexico to my staff and teaching all those different values and different philosophies so that we're never just teaching one. We're always kind of reinventing and wanting to show all the different levels of what it means to exercise. That doesn't mean you need to spend hours and hours in a gym lifting weights. It could just mean being on the beach and doing different movements that we believe are functional to your body, multi-joint movements in the stand with your shoes off. So it's fun. We had a group of professional soccer players come down about a month ago and worked with our staff. And it was funny, these guys are all incredibly fit. Some of these guys have played in World Cups. And they came in and they asked the trainer, they said, okay, we're ready to start. They met us on the beach, and they said, well, where's all your equipment? We're ready. And all the trainers turned and looked at them and said, your body is our equipment today. And they looked at you, what do you mean by that? They said, you'll see. So they took them through about 2 hours of intense plyometric, functional, multi-joint movement that after it was all over, some of them, most of them have been trained to do plyometrics already. But what they haven't been trained in doing is they didn't have their shoes on. They were in the sand. They were having water-resistant type of workouts as well in the ocean. And afterward, they said, we have never felt this way after workout. We have never felt our bodies go to that level before. And even pick up one single piece of equipment. So that's the type of stuff that we're doing, and it's just been so much fun. And that's why, it's not something that a lot of people know about. And so we want to start to get the word out that, if you're searching for a place to go to get started, to get motivated, and you want to get all the distractions from your life, not to interfere with that, this is the place to do it. Because we can help kind of just put all the emphasis on you. Or it might be somebody who says, you know what, I plateaued. I want to get a kick in the butt. Or it can be somebody even higher level than that. So we've really been able to kind of have the balance of all different types of lifestyles there. And so it's been just a blessing to be able to be a part of it.
That's just awesome, and I love how you keep it so fun and so simple. And I think that's what's really powerful about these wellness vacations is that they're fun and simple. And, when you're changing habits, changing from one lifestyle that might be not very healthy for you to a really healthy lifestyle, it's sometimes it can be hard. And keeping it fun, keeping it simple is really key to making changes that are going to last because, no one wants to have a boring life. Let's have a fun life and a healthy lifestyle at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, Tom. And I can tell you about keeping it fun, what I like to tell people is that this is not a fat camp. You're not being punished for being overweight, okay? We're not punishing you for maybe 15, 20 years of neglect, okay, which we'll call it that. You've neglected yourself. So when you come to the resort, you'll be surprised. Not only are we going to exercise with you, we're going to inspire you, we're going to show you how to eat healthy, but you have to understand something. Our chefs are creating meals that you're eating and you're like, there's no way this is good for me. I'm eating lasagna? What? Or you're being taught to understand and drink wine. We're drinking wine at night. Or you're eating desserts. You're like, what? But we're teaching them to look at what they're eating. The desserts you're eating are going to be healthy. They're going to be made of natural ingredients. You're eating at an Italian restaurant at the resort, and you're like, well, I can't believe I get to eat at an Italian restaurant. But you're understanding that you're eating amazing grilled fish with whole wheat pasta in light marinara sauce with vegetables. And you're like, we're not trying to sacrifice or punish you with dry, chicken breast with broccoli that has no olive oil or seasoning to it. That's not our definition. We want to show you that these are ways that you can still eat healthy food, it tastes good, and then when you go back home, you can cook these things. These are not, even though we have our world-class chefs cooking them for you, but we also want to show you. We have cooking demonstrations where our chefs will come out and show you how to cook the food that you're eating there, which is just fantastic. And they do it in such a way that they really, for a guy like me, dumb it down. So when I go home, I know how to cook it, and it's not going to be this sophisticated 4-hour meal. It's going to be a half-hour meal that I can cook. So we're not going to punish you there. You're going to still go out at night, enjoy some cocktails, enjoy dessert, enjoy food that you might not think was healthy when you got there, but you realize that we were able to reduce some of the fat, take some of the bad ingredients out, and make it very flavorful and still yet healthy. So that's what's fun to see that happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, I love what you're talking about. You can have it both. You can have it all. That's why I love to teach people. You can have it all. It's not a dichotomy. It's not, either good food or good health. You can have both good food and good health. You can have a great vacation and a great fitness workout at the same time. You can have it all together in one amazing lifestyle. You just have to be willing to do the work to create that lifestyle for yourself.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right, and that's what people don't realize is they don't understand the sense of balance and what it's going to take to really create that healthy lifestyle. Because if you go in on trying to do too much too fast and sacrifice everything, you're taken away. You're feeling that things are being taken away. People don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the truth of the matter is when you're going on a wellness vacation like this or you're making some lifestyle changes to a better lifestyle, it's a gift you're giving to yourself. It's not a punishment. It's always a gift to yourself. And really just focusing on that.
Yeah, when you realize, I have a 17-month-old baby. I have a 5-year-old son. Trust me, when I'm eating now, I realize, hey, this is giving me energy to be a better father, to live a healthier, stronger life for them, to be a good role model. Because I know when I eat wrong and I don't feel good, I don't feel my best. And that's not good either.
Absolutely. Yeah. So why don't you tell our listeners, where they can learn more about you and your wellness programs?
They can find out more information on www.mydestinationwellness.com. And then from there, they'll be able to navigate all the different aspects of the program and be able to see all the different levels that we offer. And it'll give them a great opportunity to just see exactly, they can look at the organic gardens that we have. They'll be able to look at all the different resumes of all the staff and the trainers. They'll be able to see where we do the program. There's tons of video there that shows all the different types of people who are working out on the beach. So they'll really get a great sense of what we're about. From that's a great starter. Then we have a tons of information on YouTube as well. Because what we like to do is that we want to give life to programs. So we want to try to show it. And the only way besides bringing you down there and giving you the best experience is we capture that through people, through testimonials, through pictures, through video. And, we can put out there all the text and the descriptions of the program, and we have some great breakdown of what the program is about, but it doesn't do it justice. So we try to do it in a way where our message is delivered by the people who have come to the program. So you'll definitely see that when you go to www.mydestinationwellness.com. They can email me at any point in time at david@180personalfitness.com. And if they need any questions, they have any questions at all, we have an amazing staff that's on hand that can walk them through and answer any questions that they have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, David, for sharing your just amazing gift of knowledge and education and inspiration with us. I'm just so grateful that we have people like you who are so knowledgeable about health and fitness and really just out there making a huge difference in the world. So thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. I believe this is genuinely my purpose in life, and it's my calling, and it's great to have, programs like this to spread our message of what we believe in. We get a blessing to do every single day of our lives to be able to help people live a better life. So I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, Tom.